It's like a 3D printed LS cylinder head. It's pretty cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and as promised, I'm providing you guys a list of the coolest cars you can buy with a budget of $50,000. The cool factor is basically a well-performing vehicle under this budget that you can take to the track, whether it be a drag strip, circuit track, any kind of like autocross event, anything like that. So it has to be a great performer, it has to handle great, and the reliability has to be there. Mostly. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you just want to have a car to have fun. So without further ado, here is your list for the coolest cars you can get with a budget of $50,000. First up is the Dodge Charger and the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. No, we're not talking wide body. We're not talking about jailbreak, whatever crazy sub-trim naming convention that they want to put on their cars just so that they can increase the MSRP by $10,000. But at the end of the day, a Hellcat motor is a Hellcat motor. You can start looking at 2015 or newer, and you don't have to worry about all this wide body baloney. There are plenty of options available for both the Challenger and the Charger for the Hellcat trim. So the pros are immense power and acceleration, amazingly comfortable interior. Nobody ever mentions this. Nobody ever mentions the very comfortable interior it has. Aftermarket support, but that kind of coexists with one of the cons is that the aftermarket support is also extremely expensive. It is probably way more expensive to say cam out a Gen 3 Hemi than it is any other American V8 on the planet Earth. Another con is that they're very heavy. So why does this matter? Well, it kind of matters when you're going around tight corners and twisty turns. They're mostly straight line cars. At the end of the day, other vehicles can handle far more superior. And another con is that these are so commonly stolen. I personally know someone that was just stolen broad daylight out of a parking garage. And then what's next? They take it to some stupid takeover thing and then trash it? Come on. So with that said, if that's in your wheelhouse, I highly recommend it. At the end of the day, it is a Hellcat. Honestly, I've contemplated myself to just say, you know what if I just got into Mopar again and got a Hellcat? Those are such cool cars. Just keep it in mind, high insurance costs because how common it is that they get stolen. They're performance vehicles, and you're kind of getting the Taj Mahal of performance. It's a Hellcat engine. You're getting 700 plus horsepower in a family sedan or a coupe. Just keep that in mind. Yeah. Next on our list is the MK5 Supra, the Toyota Supra. Should we call it a BMW? I don't know. When they first released the concept of the FT1, everybody was talking. This has got to be the next Supra. This has to be the next Supra. Please let it be the next Supra. This new generation Supra is pretty damn potent, and it checks all the marks. 3-liter inline-6 turbo, 2-seater, rear-wheel drive. This is like the definition of a nice, lightweight, fun to toss around sports car. It produces just shy of 400 horsepower, but so many people are obviously taking this to your nearest tuner and pumping out enormous power. Some of the pros about this is excellent handling. That's number one. The power that this car gets, it's not too much, it's not too little, but you can always head to your nearest tuner and change that. And furthermore, it has a pretty forgiving suspension for daily driving. It has a very smooth and responsive engine, and like I said, easily tunable. And with that, you get strong reliability. Toyotas are pretty darn reliable. One of the biggest cons that I think is the tight interior space. Not to mention how you get in. I think I've tried to crawl into one of these cars numerous times, and every single time, without fail, just bonked the back of my head or the side of my head trying to get in this car. Ingress and egress is the biggest problem with this car, in my opinion. Another con is the lack of manual options on the earlier year models. And the biggest con of this is that it shares components with BMW, that being the actual whole power plant itself, and thus making maintenance a little too expensive. Next up is the Lotus Elise. Another car that I would just say is probably, yes, it's going to be reliable, it's going to be a nice little fun little car, but it's literally like a Miata supercar. In a way, like Miata with supercar looks. You look very cool driving it. If you're working on any of the engine components, you obviously can source Toyota parts. The downfall of that, if it's Lotus parts, Lotus has really just not the large enough network to be going and finding these Lotus source parts. You might have to seek out aftermarket to fix pretty much anything. But all in all, it has exceptional handling. You could toss this thing around the track all day and night. It's lightweight, reliable Toyota drivetrain. It's easy to maintain mechanically, and it doesn't depreciate all that much. It also comes with kind of like a Targa top to it, kind of like a Corvette. You can remove that top and just enjoy it like a convertible in a way. Also a lot of fun just driving down the road with it. If you ever want to sell it in the future, I would highly recommend to just keep the car as is. Just do tasteful modifications to it. You don't need to go overboard. Next up, the Jaguar F-Type R. F-Type R? F-Type R? The Jaguar F-Type is a really attractive car. It's really nice to look at. I've always loved the look of these cars. Reliability, I don't know so much about that. Nothing says luxury sports car, whether it be coupe or convertible. You have 500 plus horsepower. The Jaguar V8 in the F-Type R is probably one of the nicest sounding V8s. Has really good handling, and you can get models that have all-wheel drive. Great for daily driving. It looks more like an American sports car than it looks like its own sports car. It's crazy, but there is slight reliability issues with these cars, and the cost that comes along with it is pretty extravagant sometimes. As long as you take good care of them, I think they're good as is. You don't really have to do really much to them. I think you're probably going to have a great car. Some have complained with like, oh, there's not a whole lot of tech in this car. Who cares? Who cares about tech? Who cares about tech? Nobody cares about tech. Stop caring about tech. You're making these cars more expensive. The consumer need for all this, I need Wi-Fi in my car. Well, okay, here's the option. It's $7,000. Let's get real here, guys. Drive for the experience. Moving on to the next one on our list is the Z51 C7 Corvette. Not the Stingray base model, the Z51. Why do I say this? Well, if you want to have fun out and on track and things like that, the Z51 is going to give you better handling capability with the suspension that it has. Not only that, you also get the dry sump. And why is the dry sump important? Well, oil sloshing up to one side versus the other and not well lubricating your internals, your rotating assembly while you're turning around tight corners, it's going to be quite catastrophic, and you're going to find out how quickly that can happen. So the Z51 is much more of a track-focused Corvette than it is the Stingray, and that's why I highly recommend the Z51 bare minimum. Since I, myself, am in the market for one of these, I will say this. If you look far and wide enough, you can find a Grand Sport at this budget, but be warned, Grand Sports also have a big issue with wheels cracking. I would probably try to avoid the Grand Sport. If you want a Grand Sport, get a C6 Grand Sport. You can get that at under the same budget. And actually the C6 Grand Sport, some argue, is better, but the C7 Z51 Corvette is probably more in the price range that you're going to be looking for, where you're going to be looking at lower mileage. I would highly recommend the 7-speed manual and driving in Sport Mode Plus all the time. Why? Because this is the first vehicle I ever heard of that is a manual transmission, but also has multiple displacement or displacement on demand. I don't know. Either way, it's a stupid thing that eventually ruins your lifters, your camshaft, which may lead to catastrophic damage and failure. And I hate that stuff. But it's probably the best bang for your buck car on this list. Strong aftermarket support, reliability, has excellent visibility. Even though it doesn't look like it does have a lot of visibility. Actually, there's more visibility out of the C7 Corvette than there is on the newer Camaros. Believe that or not. And I'm telling you right now, the C7 Corvette has way more visibility out of the side, front, and even the rear window through the rear view mirror has way more visibility than a Camaro ever will. It's crazy to think that. And despite anybody else's opinion, the C7 Corvette is actually really comfortable. It has a very comfortable interior. Even the GT seats that I've sat at, it's really comfortable. They're amazing cars. Just a quick pause for a second. If you do like how this video is going and how this list is going, and maybe this helps you make a decision in your life, feel free to do the thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's right here. You see it? Yeah. Put your mouse right here. Put your mouse right here. I'm going to show you something. We're moving it. Follow my hand. We're moving it. Is it on it? Click. I'm so proud of you. Next up is the Ford Mustang. Wait for it. Shelby GT350. That's right. They finally have come down. They are realistically attainable. 5.2 liter flat plane crank that just sounds like a symphony going down the road. Now, this is the best sounding V8 on this list, right next to, maybe even tied with, the Jaguar F-Type R. Quite possibly the best sounding V8. This thing revs so high. It is so nice for an American car to behave this way. It doesn't even feel or sound like an American car, really. It has super precise steering, brakes, performance. This thing giddy ups, and it's super balanced. You can take this it's like a Porsche 911. You can take this to the track and go get groceries on the way back home and daily commute it. It is an insane vehicle. Out of all the cars on this list, everything feels the most analog in this car. Features on this vehicle to maintain control of your vehicle, but it's the biggest blast out of all these. Speaking of the Mustang, you cannot mention the Mustang without mentioning the Camaro in the same breath. Yeah, that's right. We get the GT350 and the ZL1 in the same market price. Hold on to your butts. Now, I would highly recommend going after like a 2013, 2014 ZL1. You know, if you widen your search a little bit, you can find some like a 2017. Does that mean you should? Well, that's entirely up to you. Maybe a 2014, because I actually like the 2014. The taillights kind of, they changed the taillights slightly on the 2014 and made them look a little bit better instead of those like half circles that are on the back of the car. I wasn't really a big fan of those, but definitely would recommend a 2014 ZL1 manual transmission. Those are going to be a blast to work with, to drive, to daily drive, to go anyway, pick up some groceries, whatever. The only con that I can possibly think of is the view. Super great power, handling, and it's like adjustable handling too. They got that mag ride suspension on it. It is so nice. So nice.
So nice.
It's reliable. It's fast. What more could you want? It just has so much limited outward visibility in this car that I don't know if it saves itself. Moving on to the next vehicle, the BMW M2. No, not the brand new ones that just came out. I'm talking about the previous generation of that. It's agile, it's quick, it's small, it's nimble, and has tons of power for such a small car. It's a fast daily driver with adaptive suspension, so you can soften it up a bit or stiffen it up a little bit as you're going down the track. And obviously the cons, just like anything that's a coupe, is that there's limited back seat space, but this one is probably the most limited out of all of them. Like, I think they just put the back seats in there because, well, insurance. You save on insurance costs. If you could seat more people in your vehicle, it saves on insurance costs. Why do you think the Mazda RX-8 had 4 doors? It also has a super small trunk, so don't even bother going to the grocery store with it on big grocery store trips. Maybe just to pick up dinner or something, maybe a couple other things, like whatever. But if you're getting paper towels, you're just getting paper towels. But enough about the BMW. Let's move on to the next car, which is the Honda S2000. You thought I wasn't going to mention like some older car that's probably way cheaper than the budget costs, right? Wrong. The Honda S2000 is one of the best two-seater sports cars in the market, kind of period, historically. It's a really fun car. It's really easy to maintain, very reliable. It has its quirks. Overall, this is so under the budget of $50,000, you might thank me later for saving you some money. And if you plan on modifying the vehicle, you can thank me even more, because these cars are running anywhere between like 20 and 30 grand without that rebuilt title clause and without higher mileage and maybe unmodified. Buy one, keep the other 20 grand for whatever else you want to do to it. Big Wang gang, that's what you want to do? Go ahead. Add up some boost. You know, you want to do all that? Yeah, it's fine. Do it. You can do it. The car has perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Most excellent track car you can get on the market that is of that age. It's going to be harder for you to find like maybe parts. You have to really rely on aftermarket parts, especially when it comes to interior pieces or the exterior body panels. And now for the last vehicle. Around the 2017 Porsche Boxster, the 718 Boxster. These things look like any other modern Porsche.
That Porsche, can we get one?
What the fuck you just call the car? That we see today on the road. Just a little bit of age. These Porsches have been ahead of their time. They have great looks to them. And the Boxster, I might argue, looks better than the 911. But nonetheless, it has a turbocharged 2-liter, or you can opt for a 2.5-liter. I don't think that's really going to fit in the budget. But what I do think is that it's an amazing car to take around the road, to daily drive it, to take it to the track. It has a very quick PDK transmission. It's a very competent car in all weather conditions. The only cons is that it's very hard visibility out of the car once the top is up. And of course, one of the other detractors is maintenance costs. That goes with any German, European vehicle altogether. And of course, the turbocharged flat 4 is probably going to disappoint in comparison to, say, the flat 6. And it probably will if you've driven the flat 6. But overall, I don't think like 300 to 350 horsepower or whatever is really going to disappoint you in that lightweight of a vehicle. One of the cars in this list is a Lotus Elise, and it puts out 190 horsepower. You think a 300 plus horsepower Porsche Boxster is gonna be any less exciting? Absolutely not. Feel free to subscribe below. It's just one little button there. Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Please up to honorable mentions. The Lexus RCF, it's like 500 something plus horsepower, just amazingness. Lexus does a really good job at V8s, and this is no exception. Does it look like a UFO? Yes, that's probably why I would never buy one. But no less than a UFO than a Lotus Elise looks. But we're not adding this to the list because they're kind of rare to find at this budget. And honestly, I just don't like the whole look of them. There's too many edges going on. It's very busy. Another honorable mention is the Aston Martin DB9. Yes, you heard me right. A DB9. And you can find one of these like 2011-ish area underneath this budget. The only downfall of that is, well, it's an Aston Martin. Those maintenance costs are going to be insane. I would probably try to avoid it for just that reason. Well, that was a long list, and I'm so happy you guys made it through the whole thing, and thank you for watching. This is my idea of the coolest cars that you can get under a $50,000 budget, and it's my idea of good performance, good handling, something that you can also daily drive during the summer. Reliability, mostly. I mean, as long as you take care of it, the reliability will be there. But overall, most incredible cars that you can get for under $50,000. Like what you see, come back for the next one, where we will be doing an almost unrealistic price of a $100,000 budget. This one's going to be more for fun. I don't think everybody's going to mostly be affording these kind of cars, but this is more like a fun list. Like, hey, what kind of cheap supercars can I get? So join me for that one. And I also have a request in my comments from previous video to do a very, very budget-friendly $5,000 budget. And we'll be doing that right after. Catch you guys on the next one.